Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spiritual Astrology. I think that there are major exceptions to the patterns in astrology, and I think it has to do with certain planets that like to disrupt the status quo. And it doesn't matter what chart you're looking at; these planets will always be there to shake things up, to change things, and they're it's kind of like they're the rebellious ones. Like they're the people that if you were to put these into representation in people, um, these planets, if they're close, if they're conjunct any of your personal planets or your, God forbid, your ascendant, you're going to come off and be that person in the world that irritates other people because you're not doing what other people want. So this is great. This is amazing, okay? I love controversy and anarchy. It's important, things like this. So the planet Pluto in our lives is there to you know, um, destroy certain things need to be destroyed in order to rebuild something on top of an old system. And in order to do this, you need to be dynamic. And there's no more of a dynamic sign or planet in astrology as Scorpio and Pluto because they're contradictory. Everything that these people, Scorpios, do is very contradictory. And it's we boil it down to emotional because emotions are not logical. It's hey, you're being a hypocrite. And water signs are pretty hypocritical. I hate to tell you guys, but generally, it's because you may say something, but you're not wording it in a way that is very definitive of how you actually feel, because you don't want to, in a way, put your feelings into words, because they are what they are, and you accept them. So then Pluto gives you the ability to do this, because what it does is gives you access to your unconscious, and your unconscious mind may be saying the exact opposite of what your conscious mind is saying. So then once you accept that there are certain parts of you that you don't necessarily automatically like, Pluto comes in the picture here, because what it does is it brings that energy to an extreme, a boiling point. Whatever sign it's in, you're going to be paranoid, fanatical, intense, obsessive, spiritual, passionate, transformative about that sign, about that placement, about wherever it is in your chart, whatever it's aspecting. So Pluto will bring changes. So I'm excited to do a Pluto series. Yay! Because Pluto's been in Capricorn. And I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but I think that has a lot to do with everything that's going on in the world right now, because Capricorn is on the highest mountaintop, which means everyone can see it. So there's always bad shit going on in the world. Believe me, there's a lot. But we don't usually see it because it's not always on the news. We only see what is represented. So right now with Pluto and Capricorn, at the end, thank God. I don't know what it's going to do in Aquarius, but in Capricorn, it's been literally physically destroying things. And the fire, the world is on fire. That is Pluto in Capricorn. Alright, guys? So Pluto has an effect on us all. Like famous Scorpio, Katy Perry says in her song, "We are all chained to the rhythm." Guys, the government is here to kill us. I know all you Scorpios out there love a conspiracy theory. You love all that shit. Like, it stirs the pot. It gets people thinking, gets you talking. It's just like, fuck the government, you know? So I'm excited to do this series. I have Pluto in the ninth house. So, to me, Pluto is God. I'm not gonna lie. Pluto and Scorpio are God because, to me, I see how transformation is so important. Like, things only stay the same because they change, and things only change because they stay the same. Because, like, there's constantly a push and pull between keeping the status quo and questioning it. And it's not evil or good, it's just the ability to make a decision. It's our higher selves. Like, Pluto is in alignment with our higher selves. And people associate Pluto with the underworld, but in reality, at the highest spiritual level, Pluto is here to teach us that darkness and change and transformation and hard times and trauma and personality disorders and mental disorders and depression and all that stuff is there for a purpose. So Pluto can actually give you that. Any Scorpios out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you learn to have faith, even though it may seem like you have nothing. Like, to you might be angry, but then Scorpios really learn. What Pluto really does teach us, ultimately, is that there is purpose behind everything. No matter whether or not you want to kill yourself today, or whatever is happening, you can complain about it, or you can do something about it. And the only way to do something about it, if you don't want to, is to learn how to want to do something about it. And that is where Pluto gets you off your ass. Pluto really gets you off your ass. Mars will do it in an innocent way. Mars will do something if it wants to. That's simple. Scorpio will do something if it wants to. Pluto will help you do something if you want to, but only if you really, really want to on a core level. And Scorpios are more in tune with what they really want than other people. Like, Scorpios are willing to say, hey, we're all bastards. We're all fucking sinful humans walking on this earth as if we own it. And, they just want to, Scorpios are real and they talk real. And that's what makes Pluto amazing. Sure, it'll kill you. It'll make you want to kill yourself. It'll get you to the point where you're questioning what you believe in. But it's purposeful. It has a purpose. Some people don't have a purpose, or they don't care. Other people care, and they know. But usually our purpose is not something that we think it is. Usually it's something underneath, a million layers. And then you're like, that's my purpose. But then, once you know your purpose, it changes. Because you can't truly know. Because there's always going to be something you don't know. And Pluto is just, constantly reminding you that you're gonna die. But it's probing. It's in a playful way. In a really sadistic kind of way. Pluto's a bit sadistic because it just does what it does and it doesn't give a shit. Alright?